If someone tells you, yeah, we'll have you on the cover of Vogue next month,
Right.
that's that is some. I'll give you the juicy scoop, but by the way, careful what you wish for.
Everybody, please welcome Sean Scott. You work in PR, public relations. For those who don't know, what do you call yourself? PR expert, PR representative,
I'd say publicist.
agent,
Publicist.
publicist. It's the same thing.
I mean, honestly, PR is like professional bullshitter.
Yeah.
They call like PR like the spin industry because you have to put a spin on everything.
Yeah.
Which is basically like making stuff about something. Like you have to be able to have like a client comes to you and has like a product that is not like revolutionary. Like they could bring you like whatever, like a lotion.
Yeah.
And you have to make it the most unique, interesting, fascinating lotion that the world has ever seen. Even though it's like you could probably go to whatever the dollar store and get it.
So then, how did you decide PR was for you, and how did you get started?
Because I had a clothing line, and then
You did?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Huh? The more see, just
What?
the more you know.
What kind of clothing?
Oh, I have samples.
I'd love to see it.
Please hold.
And
I custom designed this camel print. I handpicked the fabrics. It's sweat wicking proof. On the inside, it's like a 1% fleece film like that, so like it doesn't keep you warm. It's a fitted like jogger.
when
And then
did you design this?
Oh, it was a long time ago. And then I did this as a little detail on the knees. I went to film.
Yes.
I majored in apparel industry management, which is like all about basically how to like run a clothing line.
Yeah.
So you learn like different fabrics, colors. You have to learn how to source, and through that, I realized I hated it.
Why?
But what I loved, it just wasn't my thing. I thought it's what I wanted, but it wasn't. Also, I just didn't like it. But what I did like, what I loved, is I would do these little like pop-up events around LA, and I would do them at these like really high-end like boutique gyms. It was like we would close the gym, like we did it at Mansion Fitness, at the Standard, at Mondrian.
Wow.
So we had models like wearing the clothes. I can show you pictures. You can put it up on the thing.
Yeah.
And they'd be wearing the clothes, and we had an full open bar, and then like trainers would be like, you know, bopping around all sweaty and sexy.
Wow.
And the clothes, and then I would have the clothes there like for sale. And that was like when I was like, you know what? I love doing like like that's like the PR side of things,
Yeah.
and like events and marketing, that kind of thing. And I was like, this is what I f***ing love to do.
So what is PR really? Because actually, we talked a little bit about different industries, but what is it?
PR really is just, well, the goal of PR, you hire a publicist to get you unpaid media. So like anyone can buy a quarter-page spread in Men's Health. Like if you have an activewear line, I could buy a quarter-page spread in Men's Health magazine for like whatever, $10,000. Not everyone could do that, but it's like so easy, you know?
Right. So
But the
I'm on
point-
magazine. You could put your
Yeah,
product in there.
that's paid advertising.
Okay.
So with a publicist, say you pay them like whatever, $5,000 a month, that might seem like a lot, but they get you unpaid media. So like if they get you a placement in People magazine, that's worth $20,000.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what a publicist is supposed to do. It's supposed to promote your brand, build your brand, convey the brand story, and get people to buy. But it's not sales.
Okay. Let's talk about brand activation.
Oh yeah, that's my
Activation.
jam.
That's your
Activation.
jam?
That's my
Okay.
jam.
I
was
know a
my
little
jam.
bit about it, but
Okay.
tell everybody what that would be.
Okay, an activation is basically like a party, but like with like a purpose.
Okay.
You invite
And-
influencers, tastemakers.
And hopefully they want to go.
Oh,
because-
anyone will go to an open bar.
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
also.
that's the other thing. You have to have an open bar, and people think that's going to cost a ton of money. But guess what? If you have a good publicist like me, you get sponsored alcohol. You get a location sponsored. You get talent sponsored. You get like you always have to have goodie bags.
Yeah.
You get those things sponsored. So it's like if you have a good publicist or like a party planner or an event planner,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be that costly. My favorite brand activation was for. And this is kind of tricky because I did it for my friend Ivan Estrada. He's a real estate agent.
Okay.
Not a particularly fun, creative.
It doesn't sound like an exciting type
Exactly.
of event.
It wasn't that exciting.
Unless it's in like a super mansion in like Malibu or
Well,
something.
no, it wasn't in that. I actually did it in Sir Restaurant in West Hollywood.
Oh, that's a great place.
Yeah, and so I made it. Of course, you always have to have like an Instagrammable moment. So you have to have a place where influencers or press or media or whatever they want to take pictures.
Like
And
the wall or
the
something
wall,
at
and
the
it has to have your
entrance.
logo on it. Not step and repeat. Step and repeats are so like
What is that?
2000. Who cares? Step and repeats like you stand on the red carpet and there's like a blank wall behind you and it says all the different logos, all the
Oh.
sponsors. We don't do that anymore. It has to be something more interesting and engaging.
Okay. So for real estate, what would be an engaging?
Well, so we had a fun little photo booth with props, and then of course we had the logo there. But it was more than just stand on a red carpet, smile, take your picture. Like it was like a fun, engaging photo booth, and you could post the picture straight from the little photo booth thing to the Instagram.
Okay.
So it's so easy, seamless.
Perfect channel, right to socials.
Right.
Yeah.
And I also hired a magician.
I like the entertainment.
Yes.
Like the actors, the
Mhm.
performers.
I had a magician. I did ice sculpture, and this was pre-Canova. I did an ice luge.
Was it themed? Because that's like a lot of different elements being combined.
It was basically, it was.
It's like all the wow factors.
It was wow factors. It kept people interested. It kept people staying there
Yeah.
instead of just coming for a free drink. I got the bar sponsored, and then just staying for a free drink and leaving. Like they wanted to stay there. They wanted to know like what this is about.
Yeah. Were those influencers looking for houses, or
No,
was
but
it
those
to-
influencers, maybe some of them were, but guess
Right.
what? Those influencers, everyone knows someone.
Yeah.
So if someone is like, oh my god, I just went to the 6 parties a night for this real estate agent,
Yeah.
to their friends like, oh my god, I'm literally looking for a real estate agent, I want to buy a place. Well,
Yeah.
I just went to the greatest party, had the best time, met this really fabulous real estate agent, here's his number.
But then,
Everyone talks.
how do you communicate the success of that real estate agent beyond just a party?
Mm-hmm. That's the tricky thing. That is the tricky thing, and that's the tricky thing about PR. It's like there's no way to, there's no like fully, unless you get a placement in a publication,
Mhm.
there's not a full way to measure
Like
success
somebody's like
for-
credibility
yeah.
or
So that's why sometimes people are fearful of signing on with a publicist. Like, okay, I'm paying $5,000 a month, or
Right.
whatever the thing is. What am I getting out of it? It's like,
yeah.
it's hard to explain to someone who can't fully understand.
It's a little ambiguous.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
But it's also just like I always say, like for business owners, like if there's something that you're not amazing at,
Mhm.
outsource it.
Yeah, I agree with
If
that.
you're busy making a top tier quality product, but you're not really great at like getting the mess out there,
Hire the experts.
and you're spending all your time making sure the product's great, the sales are great,
Mhm.
and you spend an hour on social, an hour sending it to media.
Yeah.
Outsource it to the experts who focus solely on getting you press.
The other side of it is social media. It's
Yeah.
not always an event. It's you day to day,
Right.
creating posts, stories, things like that.
Right. It's very like analytical and like scientific, and that's not really who I am. I like to work more on the creative.
Yeah.
So
So if it's like hair, for example, what's like one post that you've done recently about hair, or when you were working with them?
well, okay. So also the other thing is that the algorithms of social media are like ever changing.
Mm-hmm.
So what used to work on Instagram was just static images.
Okay.
Now the algorithm
It's like
likes
a video or something.
yeah.
Right?
Now the algorithm likes reels.
So a reel
So
of
a
somebody
reel will do
getting a
better.
blowout,
Yeah.
or
Well, for hair, for hair and cosmetics, people love a tutorial. Like this is what I did first, second, third, fourth, and this is how I achieved this look.
oh.
But it has to be in under like 10 seconds.
Here's the other question I have too. A caption, as you might say, could be very important. How much time do you spend thinking, you know what, I'm gonna make this the best caption versus not? Because maybe that engages clients.
It 100% does. So for some clients that I work for,
Mhm.
they'll send me something and they're like, Sean, just really quick, just like post this. I'm like,
You have to think about it.
It's not that easy. And I know that's hard for some people to wrap their head around,
Yeah,
but it's just like, this is my lane.
yeah.
You're cutting hair, you stay in your lane.
I think it's funny because in PR, I don't feel like people always stop working together. They actually get fired. Because I remember that.
Oh, I've been
from-
fired. I've been fired more times than I've been
That's so
hired.
funny because when we think of it in like a non-PR world, it's like getting fired is like, but really in your world, it's like
I've been-
that means game over, contract's done, but you like move on and it's not a
I give myself a 5-second funeral.
yeah,
I feel bad for myself for 5 seconds,
yeah.
and then I move on.
Cheers to you and to your success.
Cheers to this.
Yay, Sean Scott, everybody.